And the next one is priority based scheduling. So you already learned in second one, last in first out. The same as this will be also last in first out. But there you have used only one thing, here you are using maybe more. So initially I have taken P1, P2, P3. So this is my P1 and having a duration of 10 seconds. So next one is my P2 having a duration of 15 minus 10, 5 seconds. And the last one is P3, 22 minus 15, so 7. Now here I don't want to bother about of which will come first, that is first in first out. I don't want to bother about of this one. And the second one, last in first out. I don't want to bother about of this one also. So I don't mind whether P1 will come first or P2 will come first or P3 will come first or P1 will come last or P2 or P3 which is coming the last. I don't mind about of that one. At the same time, shortest job first. I don't bother about of this one. The distance between P1, okay, P1 will be finished in 10 seconds and P2 will be finished in 5 seconds. P3 will be finished in 7 seconds. So I'll go for P2 to finish because it's having a less time to execute. I don't mind about of the time. Only thing that I have to check, priority. So I need to check the priorities in between P1, P2, P3. While I'm comparing with these two, P1 having more priority than P2 and P3. So then P1 will first go. And next, P1 is completed now. So remaining P2 and P3. Then P3 having more priority than P2. First P1 will come, next P3 will come, and next P2. But there is nothing is there to compare whether it has to go or not. So if it is so, P1 has to execute first. So let's start with P1. How much time it will take? 10 seconds. So 0 to 10. 0 to 10 means execution time is 10 seconds. And waiting time is 0. There is no need to wait. I have remaining two processes. Then I need to check P3 and P2. Okay. P3 having more priority than P2. Then I will send P3. P3. How much time it will read? 7 seconds it needs. So where I have closed 10 seconds. 10 plus P3 duration is 7. 17 is going to be executing and initiating with 10 seconds. And the rest of the third one is P2 only, because no more process is available over here to compare with the P2. So P2 having 5 seconds. So I need to add P2 plus 5 seconds. Then 17 seconds will be the starting time or waiting time. 17 plus 5. 22 seconds. That will be the execution time of P2. So same as I need to calculate now I need to calculate what is this? First one, turn average waiting time, AWT. So waiting times of this one, whichever it may be the task. So let it may be one of the task which is having three processes. Whichever it may be the process, first whenever you are using priority based scheduling, first you need to segregate this entire task in priority based approach. Once it is come to priority based approach, then you need to calculate average waiting time, average execution time, and average turnaround time. So now what is the waiting time of P1? This is 0, right? So there is no waiting for here. What is the waiting time of P2? P2 waiting time 17 seconds. And what is the waiting time of P3? P3 is 10 seconds. So now I have the average time 0 plus 17 plus 10. How much it is? Average waiting time, that is 27. And whenever I need to calculate average, and I have 1, 2, 3 number of processes, so denominator is 3, and I have 9 seconds. Average waiting time of each P1, P2 and P3, 3 processes available. So average waiting time of each process is 9 seconds. And the next one I need to calculate is average execution time, right? So what is the execution time of P1, what is the execution time of P2, and what is the execution time of P3? Let's have a look. P1 executed at 10 seconds. So P1 is executing at 10 seconds. What about P2, the last one? 22. And the P3 will execute at 17. So now I need to find average executing time equals to 10 plus 22 plus 17. This will be 32 plus 17, 49. So obviously I need to find average. So my denominator is 3. This will be 16.33, right? And the last one is average turn around time, right? What is the operated time of P1? What is the operating time of P2? What is the operating time of P3? So P1, where it is? P1, 10 minus 0, that is 10. And when it is coming to P2, 22 minus 17, how much it is? 5 plus 3 plus 2, 5. So 22 minus 17, this is 5. This is 10 minus 0, that equals to 10. And what is the execution time of P3? 17 minus 10, that will be 7. So whenever you need to calculate turnaround time, so 10 plus 5 plus 7, and having 3 processors. So that will be 12 plus 10, 22 by 3. This will be 7.33 seconds or milliseconds, right? So having some advantages with priority based scheduling, at the same time some disadvantages also there. So first let's come to advantages. Usage is very easy because I don't want to bother about of last in first out algorithm. I don't want to bother. Which is the first one? First in first out algorithm. I don't want to bother. And the third one, shortest job first or next. I don't want to bother about of that. So here I need only 2 informations. First one is how many processors are available. At the same time, priority of each process. If I came to know about of these 2 issues, I don't want to bother about of anything and I can implement it. Okay? And the next one is high priority process doesn't have to wait until the execution of previous process. For example, so as we already consider P1, P2 and P3. For example, P3 having high priority, right? So while P1 having less or low and P2 also having low or less priorities. So usually while we are operating with any one of the algorithm, whether it may be FIFO or it may be LIFO or it may be SJF, shortest job first, whichever it may be the algorithm, first P1 will execute, next P2 will execute, next P3 will execute. So means until and unless P1 and P2 will finish its own operation, P3 will be in waiting state. So how much time it has to wait from P1 and P2? For example, P1 having 10 seconds and P2 having 5 seconds, means 15 seconds it has to wait to execute. But while it is coming to priority based algorithm, P3 does not have to any waiting state. Directly we can start the execution from P3 onwards. So because of that one, the time will be saved. And the last one is, it is most suitable for fluctuating time and resource requirements. What is the fluctuating time? So we can't able to judge any one of the task, how much time it will take to complete the task. That is fluctuating time. Time will never be fixed for execution of any one of the process, whether it may be P1 or it may be P2 or it may be P3. For those type of process, this will be the more advantageous algorithm. Even then also, it has in some advantages, it is having some disadvantages also. So when any one of the time system is going to be crashed, then obviously which one is the first obviously high priority task will be operated, like P3, as we already take in consideration. P3 will be operate, and while coming P2, it is having less priority than P3. So if any time crash will takes place, it is the high priority task, so it will be executed very fast. So it will be executed and the corresponding output is went to the kernel. What about this one? Obviously, who will be the last? He will be the loser. Okay? Next. At the same time, if this particular high priority task needs 25 seconds of time, or else, so let it maybe P1 or P2 or P3. I have three processes, right? So P1 is going to be starting with 5 and P2 needs to close at 5 seconds. And P2 will be closed at within 3 seconds. But P3 need 25 seconds to execute. Let it maybe. But still, as you already having the consideration of P1 having less priority, P2 also having less priority, but P3 having high priority. So now what will be happens? Until and unless these 25 seconds completed, or else until and unless this entire process 3 has to execute, P1 and P2 does not have an option to go and operate and execute. Even they might having with less time, 3 and 8 is nothing but combinedly it will having only 8 seconds. Still, P1 and P2 does not have an opportunity to execute and before completion of P3. Simply known as depends upon the high priority task execution time, low priority times has to wait for more time. Okay? Same as, and the next one is same P1, P2, P3. So having less priority, it is high priority. So this one needs 5 seconds, this one needs 3 seconds, this one needs 25 seconds to execute. So as we already know, the operation ones, this one is create, next ready, next one is running, and next one is complete. So when it is under running, there is a chance of blocking state, right? This is our procedure. So for example, I have started with high priority task P3. So P3 came to ready state and then it will go to running state also. While P3 is operating, somewhere somehow P3 needs some I/O support, input and output devices support. Then obviously P3 will run away to blocking state. When P3 is running in blocking state also, we can't able to run P1 and P2 in running state. Means until and unless this P3 process from blocking state to running state, and then running state to again ready state to again running state, and then it has to complete its operation to completing state. Up to that extent, P1 and P2 has to wait. There is no other alternation is available for P2 and P3. Thank you.